Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual View. We are so excited and honored that you would join us. I'm Ceree, and I'm one of the Spiritual View crew, and we're so excited. We're amazed that you are joining us. If you're seeing this at a different time, we appreciate you joining. Please like, subscribe, and share. Would like to start with introducing all of our readers today who are hosting the Spiritual View. So, Jenn, let's start with you.
Hi, guys. It's Jenn with the Awakened Jenn Tarot.
Oh, Dawn, you're muted.
Hi, it's Dawn with Astrology and Tarot Alchemy. It's Mercury today. Okay.
It sure is. It's been a day. This is Marsha with Salty Mama Soul Tribe.
Hey, it's Elizabeth with True to It Connections. And yes, Dawn, my washing machine is having error codes.
Hi, I'm Wendy.
Hi, I'm Angie with Learn Love Tarot.
Thank you, ladies. All right, we've got a great agenda lined up for you today, and wanted just to make a couple of announcements in advance. If you were joining us for the first time, we do a live on Mondays and Fridays, and we're using this opportunity. Today's live is our monthly forecast. So we are going to actually talk a little bit about some channeled messages provided by Jenn. And I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves if they could for a moment until you're coming on. Then we're going to be talking a little bit about rituals today. We're going to be talking about the Sabian symbols, a little bit about rituals from an energetic perspective, and crystals, the use of crystals. We're going to be talking about the Capricorn full moon. We're going to be talking about the treasure map that Elizabeth introduced a number of months ago, and a discussion on the infinity wave. And then the last part of the session is going to be for readings, individual readings, if you were joining us live. And so we are going to do 3-card readings, and we'll introduce that in the last 30 minutes. So we are going to start by grounding everyone. And I would probably be not the first person to say this week. What a week it's been. And most of us have experienced some real highs and lows of energy, some intensity of the energy. Some people feel ungrounded and a little bit shaken and maybe not stirred. But we are going to do a very quick exercise, and we're showing this to you because you can do this at home in the morning, in the evening. It's a very quick clearing exercise. So, ladies, we're going to close our eyes, and for those of you joining us, we are going to ask you to do the same. And we're going to start with a couple of very nice, deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just relax. Continue to take a couple of nice, deep cleansing breaths and get relaxed in your space, in your chair. And we're going to imagine this beautiful white light about 2 feet above our head, the soul star chakra. And we're going to let this beautiful, warm, amazing white light to work its way all the way through our chakras, all the way through our bodies, and connecting us with Mother Earth. Imagine that white light coming down to meet the top of your forehead, top of the head, which is the crown, moving down to the third eye, moving down, cleansing, balancing to the throat chakra, allowing us to speak our truth, moving down to the heart chakra, getting us in touch with our heart center, cleansing, balancing, moving down to the solar plexus, where we own our power, cleansing, balancing, moving down to the sacral, continuing down to the root chakra, the tops of the legs, balancing, cleansing, moving down through the legs, the knees, the ankles, the feet, out through the toes, and that energy goes deep into Mother Earth, securing our space, grounding us to the energies of Mother Gaia, and making us feel safe and secure. That energy comes back up to meet our toes, going through our feet, ankles, knees, legs, going back up through the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown. And that beautiful, amazing white light goes out into the ethers, into the heavens, and connects us to all that is, to Source. And that beautiful white light comes around each of us in this cone of protective white light. We are asking Archangel Michael to be here to protect our space, to ground us and to make us safe and secure in only energy of the highest vibration. Be here, and this information that we gather today be for our greatest and highest good as a collective. We're also asking our guides, angels, and guardians be here for this reading and for this information between all of us today, that it's shared in a spirit of community and caring. With that, amen. And we are ready to go. Okay. So now that we're grounded and clear, everyone, that's a 30-second exercise you can do when you go to bed at night before you get out of bed in the morning. You can actually visually go through your chakras and put your hands on your chakras going up and down the energy lines. And it's a great way to protect your space and to ground you no matter where you are and where you're going. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Jenn, who's going to give us our channeled message for today.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to be adding some music to go with the channeled message too. All right. So what do our guides want us to know about using the powerful energy of the full moon? Illumination and enlightenment. The ability to see the path light up for you even in the darkness. This is the gift of the full moon energy that you receive on regular cycles during your life on Earth. If the path was always clear, there would be no real challenge, no room for growth and expansion. So we celebrate the dark for its gifts it brings as much as we celebrate the light for its gifts as well. Yet, with the full moon, it becomes the beautiful union of the two energies, the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown, the light and the dark. Every 28 days, we have the opportunity to gain new perspectives on our current situations that help us to make decisions that align us even closer to our manifestations and ultimate desires. Our guidance is for you to take advantage of these opportunities when they arise. There are several ways of working with the full moon energy, and tonight you will hear from many perspectives among this talented team of light workers who have all found personal ways of working with this energy, as you will as well. You will find the one that is most aligned with your natural way of being, one that is not adding extra work for you to do, but is just part of the way that you naturally live. One very effective way is to just sit in quiet meditation during the energy of the full moon. Create a calming ambience around you that allows the mind to settle. You can meditate outside directly in the energy of the moon, but we suggest that you at least allow the moonlight to be the main lighting of whatever space you choose to meditate. Imagine the moonlight coming down through your crown chakra and aligning your whole inner being. Think about the things that you are manifesting. Think about how successful your efforts have been to this point. Are you happy with the progress? Take this time to connect with your guides to ask what your blocks might still be, what things you may need to release, what new things you need to begin. Allow whatever comes up to come up without judgment, and choose the actions from there that are most aligned with the life that you truly want for yourself. Remember that your dreams are within reach, and that manifesting with the moon cycles helps you to achieve them with much greater ease because you are working with the energy of creation rather than against it. Great blessings to all of you as you continue to grow in your paths of enlightenment, and remember how very magical and powerful you really are and have always been. All right. So I'm going to close us out there. And we're going to move over to Marsha. Back to my screen. So,
Okay.
Marsha.
Sorry, I've got a little interruption there in my back view, everybody. Oh, no, close the door. Thank you. These happen sometimes in live. So before Dawn launches into the astrology, what I'm going to do is just give us another sneak peek as kind of the energy at play this week. Of course, we've got this Capricorn 29-degree full moon. And with any moon, there is, or with any sign really, there's a polarity there. So the opposite of that is we've got the sun in Cancer. And also this week, Pluto dropped to 0 degrees Aquarius. This is a lot of big energy. And these are all kind of triangling us in the macro and in the micro. So I'm first going to start Sabian symbols. Really is astrologers, if you know it and work with it, I don't need to give you a description, but if you're not used to Sabian symbols, basically they are 360 degrees of an astrological wheel, and each degree has a descriptive image or vignette that goes along with it that gives an extra layer of meaning. So we're going to look at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and for that, the key word here is opportunity. A secret business conference. So high degrees of Capricorn really do deal with our government institutions and things like that. So kind of keep that in mind, but it also applies in your personal life as well. So the theme here is executive session. This symbol speaks to politics and to the determination of individuals to control the course of events and resolve important issues through political alliances. The image of a secret business conference or a behind-the-scenes meeting alludes to a power play or an attempt to determine the outcome of some situation by quietly, cleverly manipulating the personal resources at hand. The emphasis here is on the psychological insight, a keen understanding of human behavior, and tactical maneuvering. At its highest, the symbol represents strategic planning and extraordinary administrative skills. In the negative, it does represent an abuse of power, hidden agendas, or taking unfair advantage of others. The accent is on things going on behind the scenes. Secret or private alliances may be involved. So your greatest advantage lies in keeping your plans to yourself until you're ready to put them in action. Line up support before you begin. Now, I also want to read just real quickly 29 degrees of Cancer, and you'll kind of pick up a theme here. It's actually in degree theory, if it's 29 in any minutes, you round up. So I'm actually reading the 30th degree, just so you know. So Cancer, 30 degrees, a daughter in the American Revolution. Key word here is inheritance. The theme is the standard bearer. This symbol speaks to established tradition and the lack of sympathy for anything that threatens it. The image of the daughter of an American Revolution cautions against resistance to change. It stresses the importance of holding only to those things that have proven their value. The emphasis here is on integrity and the courage to live up to an exemplary life in faithfulness to the highest ideals of humankind. At its highest, this symbol represents a charismatic ability to inspire others and work together. The accent is on tradition and precedent, protecting those things that have proven their worth. Your greatest advantage lies in being conservative. Understatement here is what works best. Guard against resisting change out of a misguided loyalty to the past. So just a little food for thought there. Dawn, do you want to kind of dive into all the luscious, lovely transits this week?
Well, I think it's very important to note with the Sabian symbols that I kind of got this download about we're really looking at Capricorn and Cancer as not just the hierarchy and the people or work and home balance. We're also looking at the father and mother images that come into Cancer as well. And there's a lot going on, and you're right, politically, this is going to be a flavor that we get with this particular full moon that is going to repeat when Pluto goes back into Capricorn. So this degree is significant. So what you might see happening around the full moon at this time are going to be echoed later on in September when I believe it's September 4th that Pluto goes back into Aquarius. So just so people are aware that there's going to be a lot of change in governments all over the world. And just a forewarning for people to realize that there's a lot of division out there, and no matter who gets elected, there's going to be half the people unhappy. So what we need to do is take away any kind of anger from that situation or any type of fear from that situation, because really astrologically, it is meant to break down a little bit so that we can get better later on. Pluto does that. It breaks it down. It has to get cleaned out, and then the better comes in. So just be aware of anything that's going to be going on this weekend as just a little bit of a message that, okay, things will get a little shaky. And obviously there were weird things going on with the internet. That all fits the astrology. So not to worry. I know a lot of astrologers out there like, yeah, we're going to have interruptions in internet. Little things here and there, nothing major, but things are changing. So we need to just adjust to that flow. What I do want to say, because I want to deal with this on a personal level for people, is the father-mother energy of this full moon in Capricorn. Because really, this is time for us to release those toxic patterns from childhood that have maybe governed the way that we do relationships and what we found acceptable in order to be loved by someone else, or how we want to change someone else so that they know how to love us. So I think those are the things that we have to release and realize that we are now adults. And this is the harder part, is when you have a wound as a child, that is the age that you had that wound is where your heart and mind go. No matter though that you're a reasoning adult, if you had traumatic instances as you were growing up, 4 or 5, you will think with the mind of a 4 or 5-year-old, and you have to turn around and release that energy and then go back and be able to be the adult that loves that child yourself, that you're going to be the one that provides that child with safety and love. And I think that is part of this really nice release in the full moon, recognizing that maybe you didn't get that safety and protection that you deserved as a child, and having to move past that you can then do more healing on your own. And that will open up more opportunities for you to bring in abundance and manifestation, because you're not having that as a block. So that's one of the things I want to look at. And because it's at 29 degrees, that anuretic degree, it's such a high energy area. But the beautiful part of it is that at 29 degrees in Pisces, Neptune is there. And Neptune at a higher level is about healing and higher connection. And we can utilize that energy because the Neptune is going to be in a sextile, which is 60 degrees apart. That's like having a friend that's helping you out, where it's going to be trining the sun that's in Cancer, which is a very easy flow energy. So this is a really good time to heal some of those things that are going on and get to that higher self that you want to connect with by healing out those energies from your childhood, right? That father-mother energy. So I think that is one of the things that is important on a personal basis to be dealing with. I know that the astrology out there is going to be dealing with the workforce and with government and things like that. But I think it's more important for us who are on a higher timeline to be dealing with our personal things that are going to help us grow, because I kind of feel like we are the guideposts for people keeping at a higher vibrational level. And in order to do that, we have to be at our highest level that we can understand for ourselves, because that energy then brings calm to everyone else and understanding to everyone else. So the other interesting thing, I noticed somebody said they had an IT problem. Yes, Uranus conjunct Algol, Mars just left, Mercury is squaring Uranus. So yes, all of that is astrologically what's going on, makes things crazy. So I do want to point out, though, that we do have a new moon coming up in Leo. Yes, a new moon in Leo, and that's on the 4th of, that new moon in Leo is on August 4th. It's at 12 degrees of Leo. And the reason I think that's important for us to start to focus on a little bit now is we have Lionsgate coming up. And I can tell you that all of the readers here have had Lionsgate showing up in reading after reading after reading as being a huge opportunity for manifestation. So not only do we get the new moon after we've released things from this full moon, we're going to get the new moon to set manifestations. And then we have a Lionsgate coming in, which, nod ladies, if you've had that come up as a reading thing for you. Yeah, see, everybody's had that very, very strong connection. That Lionsgate is going to be a huge thing for everyone. And it's in a super positive way. It's going to be a change for the positive. So I want you to remember that any change that you're seeing out there in the world, do not be afraid of it. It is something that is going to be for our greatest and highest good. So do not have that fearfulness of anything, or do not allow yourself to be moved into anger, because both anger and fear are the ways that other people can control you. You need to be inside your own intuition, your own space. Grounding is important, and leave some of the channel surfing to just the weather, because I don't think anything, you can catch up with the news in 15 minutes and then you're good. So it's not like you won't know what's going on out in the world, but you're not constantly involved in it, and it's messing with all this. Mercury is going to be squaring Uranus as well. So you don't want to have your thoughts all jumbled up. You want to keep a very level head and keep very well grounded. So I'm going to turn this, I did want to mention, I'm going to be doing a full moon, just a simple ceremony on Sunday, and it'll be live on my channel. So we're just going to do something very simply. The instructions are over there. And I will then turn this over now to Marsha, who is going to be going through some information on things that you can utilize with releasing. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we kind of dive into looking at how to ritualize this time, this lunar phase, or any time really, I have put together what, I consider my top 10 things that I go to over and over and over again. And sometimes I just have time for a couple of these things. Sometimes I do all of them. And as I kind of talk through them, you'll see what I mean. So especially this weekend with just the powerful manifestation that's upon us. And I think, just chiming in with what Dawn said, don't resist the change and don't fear it. It is for your best and highest good. So what I like to do when I know this is coming up on Sunday, it's Friday, I'm going to start preparing now and really dip into this energy tonight and beginning tomorrow with cleansing my space. And that means physically, if I've got time to purge things that are cluttering my mind, cluttering my space, cluttering my energetic field, this can be material things, this can be emotional things, but I want to cleanse my space. Bring in some new things too. Oftentimes what I'll do is I'll get essential oils or sprigs of herbs that I love, and I'll put those in places of the house that I pass often. Just freshen up that space. The next thing to consider is taking what I call a moon bath. And Jen kind of touched on this. You want to sit in the energy of that full moon. Obviously, everybody doesn't have a bathtub outside, right? Nobody's taking a bath outside, but you certainly can be near water. You can be in and near water during the moon, but to bathe in it. So what I like to do, I call it my moon bath because it is around that time, but I always add Epsom salt to it. I always add essential oils to it. Ones I like to use myself are like frankincense, sandalwood, cedarwood, and lemon balm. I just find the smell of them really clear my senses. The night before the full moon also, I'm going to put crystals out and start getting those charged. If you have a collection, you can put them in a windowsill. You can put them outside even. I also do this with my tarot and oracle decks. Wonderful way to charge those as well. Next thing, and this is kind of a flow pattern that I do, I would take the time the night before to journal. And the full moon really is a window to reflect on what's happening in your heart and mind. And this is where I want to stress that attention to your intention is what you really need to be paying attention to when you're journaling, when you're writing down the things you want to release. We all know the saying that energy goes, or is that how it is? Energy flows where attention goes. Yes, energy flows where attention goes. But in back of that, the intention of your attention, okay? The intention behind that is going to determine that what comes from that energy flow, what you will manifest. So journaling is a really good time to clear all of that out. So now we're kind of coming into the next day. I allow for extra rest and relaxation. It can be draining, all of this out in the world. I allow myself to sleep in. If you can sleep in on Sunday, I would sleep in a little bit. Intentionally plan this and then segue into some kind of meditation. And if you're new to meditation, this can be simply 3 to 5 minutes of just dropping into your breath. That's it. Listening to the sound of your breathing. As you kind of progress, you can do longer periods of time. You can do guided meditations. I know Jenn recently published a wonderful guided meditation for manifesting. And Dawn already mentioned it, but I was going to suggest, if you don't already have a group that you can come into a full moon circle with, Dawn's event on Sunday would be a nice opportunity to do that as well. Another thing you want to do, if you can, is connect with nature. You can purchase a new plant and bring it into your house. If you're in a part of the world or wherever that you can't get out or you don't have a lot of green space, bring it into your space for sure. What I like to do when I'm out, like I pretend I'm in Narnia. I know that sounds really corny, but what it does to me instantly is I'm in a magical place. And so my perception of everything around me turns magical. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm walking is look right at the grass line where the horizon meets the grass. And if you watch there, you see all kinds of active life and things flying and float. It just makes you feel like there are fairies all around us and angel spirits just seem to come out in nature. So get yourself out in nature. Like I said, make a moon circle. If you can, get with a group of friends. And if you can't, make new friends and join in a ceremony with somebody. But this is a time to get together in a safe space and with a single intention of, let's just let it out. This isn't a bitch session. We're not trying to be vengeful and complaining. What we're really trying to do is release the things that aren't serving us and bring in that love and friendship and community. And then after all of that is said and done, make time to eat a nourishing meal. Self-care and self-love are not quite the same thing, right? So in this time, I want you to go even deeper with your self-love. Nourish yourself with good food, nourish yourself with good words, talk to yourself well. So anyway, those would be my top 10. Now, I know everybody else in this group works with all kinds of similar energies or rituals or things like that. I was going to speak to crystals, but I think I will just kind of open it up to anybody else that has any kind of ritual or anything else they want to offer. Elizabeth, are you up next?
Yeah, I can go. I think, Angie, were you going to talk about the crystals? Or, sorry, y'all.
Oh, it might have been Angie.
You ready, babe? There we go. And I'll see you after Angie.
Okay, thank you, because I need to have my glasses on so I can see, because I can't see where to mute and unmute myself. So thank you, guys. Okay, so we have an awesome slide. Thank you, Marsha, for doing that work. It looks great. The first crystal, universal healer of crystal quartz. So I don't know how great that view is there. If you could see that, you can see through it. This is a crystal wand, and it actually has some crystallized pieces on the end of it, which is really, really cool. And if you don't already have this this book here, I know that Elizabeth has the deck by the same author. It's Judy Hall. I wish I would have gotten this so much sooner, because it is so thorough and it is really, really cool. So I'm just going to tell you a couple little things about these. So let's see here. Most types of crystal quartz are easily obtained, and the healing property of that is that it's a master healer used for everything. So it's kind of like it's a do-all crystal. It's great for stimulating the immune system. So if you're not feeling great, stick one in your pocket. I used to stick them in my bra and in my pockets, just anywhere they would fit. It's excellent for soothing burns, which is really interesting as well. And all of the chakras aligning in the body. There's all different kinds of quartz, and we're going to go through just a couple of those on the list when we get to them. But the second one I wanted to talk about was amethyst. So this is a gorgeous double pointed amethyst. It's quite heavy. I like to use crystals when I'm laying down the cards for my spreads for my readings, and that kind of keeps them in place. Also wearing an amethyst necklace that I got in New Zealand many moons ago when I was 18. But in general, amethyst, the favorite thing I like to say about it is that knights used to wear it under their armor because they believed it would protect them and keep them safe in battle. It also boosts of hormone production and tunes the endocrine system and metabolism. It cleanses and eliminates organs. It also cleanses the blood and relieves physical, emotional, psychological pain and stress, and also headaches and tension. So I think that's really, really cool. It is best used for jewelry. That's kind of the easiest way to wear it. But it's especially beneficial when it's worn over the throat and the heart. Thirdly, we have rose quartz crystal. It's kind of the color of my skin there. So hopefully you can see that a little. You can see that there. And for rose quartz, I think most popularly everybody thinks, oh, that's about love. It's about heart healing. And yes, it's sourced in South Africa, the US, Brazil, Japan, India, and Madagascar. The healing properties, it strengthens physically the heart, so not just for love. So that would be blood pressure, also with our pulse, right? The rate at which our heart beats. And then you can place that on the thymus. The rose quartz aids chest and lung problems as well. So if you're a person that gets anxiety, you're having trouble kind of breathing or calming yourself. I always used to have rose quartz crystal at school because kids would say they'd come up and get the quartz off my desk, and I knew if they were taking that and sitting out in the hallway that they were okay, and they just needed a minute. So that was their little sign to me without having to wait. And if they were feeling that feeling, you can honor that. And sometimes we just need to take a break, and it always worked. It also heals the kidneys and adrenals, and alleviates vertigo. That I did not remember. It's said to increase fertility. So if you are of the childbearing age still, then that is said to aid that. Also soothes burns, blistering, and smooths the complexion. So I'm sure you've all seen the rose quartz rollers that you can roll on your face. So that's why you would use that on your face, especially positioned over the heart. Or in a relationship corner of the room, which is going to be if you're in a doorway, it is going to be the far right corner of the room. And you also can hang just as a little side to feng shui, can put things up in pairs, candles. I have my pictures of my grandparents there. So rose quartz would aid in that if you're looking for love to come to you. And one of my other favorites, turquoise. This is a beautiful piece of turquoise. I have quite a lot of turquoise jewelry. I love my jewelry. And the healing properties of turquoise are it strengthens the meridians of the body. So if you don't know what meridians are, if you think of chakras as the north to south, right, base, and I always see them as records, and starting with the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, all the way up, the meridians would extend farther out and wider. If you've ever had acupuncture, that is what those needles are accessing. They are tuning into the certain meridians of the body because they understand that the body works as a whole, much unlike Western medicine. Understands that it is a whole holistic healing rather than just healing one thing at a time, which doesn't really make sense when we think about that. But anyhow, it enhances physical and the psychic immune system, regenerates tissues, supports the assimilation of nutrients to our body, helps flush out toxins, and it's just in general a whole body healer, especially beneficial to the stomach, and it's also anti-inflammatory. And again, if you are of childbearing age and you still are working your way through cramps and that kind of fun thing, that's wonderful stone to have in your pocket there to relieve that. And then the last crystal. Now this has part of it in here. So it's the smoky quartz. So if you can see the brown parts here of this like little heart crystal, where the brown parts are, would be the smoky quartz. And lamp page. So here's what that picture looks like there. And smoky quartz is particularly effective for ailments of the abdomen, hips, and legs. It relieves pain, including headaches, benefits the reproductive system, muscle and nerve tissue, and the heart. Also helps dissolve cramps, strengthens the back, and the nerves, especially positioning. If you get Reiki treatments or anything like that, they'll tend to put them near the base of your spine, on your lower back, underneath that sacral chakra. It's placed over pain to dissolve joint pain and to help the body ward off and push out negative energies. So I hope everybody found that the little tidbits of that information. I have lots of crystals and I could spend all day talking about all of them because I think they're so flippin' cool. But hopefully that gave you a little bit of a taste there. And then I think we have Elizabeth with, is it the 8 walk or walking the 8 up next?
Oh boy. I'm frozen.
You're okay. You can speak because we can still see your visuals.
Okay. I apologize. It even says I'm muted. You sure you can hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you
Yes.
fine.
I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm so sorry. So you guys, I do want to remind you, I believe it was episode 1. We first talked about the treasure mapping. And I want to remind you that this time of the full moon in Capricorn is a really excellent time to make adjustments to your treasure map, which is really vision board. But you can go back and look at that. Am I gone? Can you guys still hear me?
Mhm.
Oh, yay.
We can still hear you.
Oh, yay.
Oh,
Okay. So sorry, you guys. But yeah, just a reminder, go back to episode 1. There's lots of information. There's still time to map out your treasure map, change it, and work with the energy for the rest of the year and meet your goals. Now, on to walking the 8, the infinity wave. It really ties in not only to what Ceree did in the beginning, where we align from the energy of the sun through our chakras to the ground and understand that frequency, we can work with that in a very practical tip I'm going to give you. And what this does is I want you to think of the infinity symbol or the number 8 and envision in your mind. You can do this in your mind. You can walk the 8 as I'm going to describe later. And there's a lot of science behind it, which I do have in a blog that Jenn will put in the description. But what this does is bring you out of the mind, as we discussed, into your heart, which actually has more neurites, as they're called, which is explained in the blog, than our brain. So sometimes we don't always make the best decisions intellectually, even though we think so. It's better to be dropped down into that heart center, understand people are coming from some sort of emotion behind their words. So then you aren't so triggered. You don't have that anxious mind going. You drop into the heart and you can make better decisions, very practical ways to get intuition on your own. Now, the way to do it, Jenn, I want to mention too, Angie described how acupuncture and crystals and all of this affects the energy, the frequency of our body. And our body is mostly water, right? So the information comes from the light into our body, which is water as the medium. So if you can understand, you'll get some very helpful downloads. It will calm your mind. You will make, again, these heart-centered decisions, manifestations, forgiveness. You can use it for all kinds of situations. Now, what's the next slide, Jenn? Did we show the DNA? Because I want you guys to understand, even within our DNA, we have the infinity symbol. Just, it's in everything. It's in our cells, our atoms. It's in everything in nature. So this infinity symbol is a frequency we can really, really work with. And a practical tip is to think about what Ceree led us through as you start this process. And I would suggest putting 2 rocks, 2 pillows, 2 crystals, whatever you want, about 3 feet out on each side, and you're in the middle. Hold your hands in sort of an uncomfortable position, prayer, anything different than you normally do to trigger your body that you're going to start this process. And then you breathe, you set your intention, whether it's to manifest, to forgive, to receive information that you find useful. You start to walk between those 2 rocks, let's say, that you set, and breathe. And it only takes a few minutes. And you're just walking the 8, walking the 8. In the middle of the 8 is a neutral point. If you think about it being a place of neutrality, you can breathe. You'll immediately feel like your anxiety is lessening. And also, the more you do it, you'll find that that center place is a portal where you will get downloads of information immediately to help you without ever even trying any spiritual practice. So that's kind of the nut and shells about it. I did learn a lot of this from Sarita Soul. There are references at the end of the article. There's a beautiful Tibetan heart meditation that not only includes using the infinity symbol to get heart centered, but this is part of her whole Tibetan heart meditation. It's beautiful, and she offers a lot of free information. And so I just want to tell you guys recently, oh, Jen, will you put the heart thing up, the heart picture? Thank you, sweetie. I had a client. We had a session together. She was really pretty panicked, grieving, upset. And I had her do this. And here's what she wrote back to me. It's just amazing. And I've used it personally, and I don't know how much time we have for me to go into that. But here's what my client Tasha said. I walked the 8 last night for 20 minutes. It was my first time. I was super emotional, crying pretty hard when I first started. You guys will just, when you start physically walking the 8, you might want to dance. You might want to wiggle. You might want to skip. You might just want to close your eyes and meditate as you walk. Let your body do whatever. If you need to cry, it's just an intuitive thing happening. So let it happen, okay? And so she goes, then something crazy happened. In about 5 minutes, I felt the energy shift. I felt the weight lifted off of me. I feel more happiness and joy inside. Still feeling it today. I can't even tell you how long it's been since I felt this way. I'm just like, what the heck happened? So I just can't tell you how easy this is, what a practical tool it is. And even if you're not walking the 8, let's say you're sitting in traffic and you have road rage or something, just start visualizing it. Do the 8 do the infinity symbol on your head. You can also imagine our heart valves and blood flow in this way too. So think about that. And then one last tip. We love to bring gratitude to everything. That is really how to make decisions that are truly heart-centered. We're not always feeling gratitude. And I always tell people, just smile, fake it, and then you will start to actually feel the energy. And that is something Sarita Soul said too. She's, if you don't feel gratitude at this moment, maybe it's about a fight or a breakup and you've got to forgive and you don't feel grateful. She said, smile as you do this. And it lifts your energy. Just like Dawn said, we're going through a lot. We've got, all of us have ups and downs. We every day are raising each other up, right, girls? And keeping our vibration high and not falling into anxiety and sadness and grief. And I'll leave it there, y'all. This is a real practical thing that shifts the vibration and frequency in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. And it's just an ancient natural thing for us to connect to that infinity symbol and understand the infinite possibilities that do await all of us. So I hope that's super helpful. I love you guys. And now I'm going to give it back to Marsha. I believe we're about ready to get into some readings. Is that right, ladies?
I feel like it's about that time. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take some viewers' comments. I'm monitoring the comments. I'm going to count to 3. And after that last number, I'm going to start jotting down people that have commented that they would like a reading. What we're going to do is we're going to pull 3 cards this time. We're not doing birth charts and all that tonight. We're going to pull 3 cards, and they will represent what do you need to let go of with this full moon energy. Second card will be what should you invite in, and third card will be advice from spirit. So let's go. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm watching comments here. Now, Judy, I see that you're in there. Anybody else? I'm not doing, we're not doing birth charts tonight. So we've got Judy and MC, Linda, and Peggy. Let's start with those and see how far we get. Judy, if you don't mind, Wendy, do you mind giving some cards for Judy first?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Judy, let's see what we have coming through for you. Letting go, inviting in, and advice from spirit. Let's see. Okay. I had 3 cards just decide to pop right out, so I guess they wanted to be heard. All right. So we have the 5 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords. Okay. So the 5 of Pentacles is letting go. So that 5 of Pentacles is that energy of feeling the struggle, of really like kind of where you're it's an uphill battle, you know, and you're just having to go totally against the grain, and it's very difficult. So you want to kind of release and let go of feeling like you're just in that struggle, which that's kind of a hard ask, isn't it, to be asked to let go of that feeling, because you probably already want to, but that is the feeling that you need to let go of, or feeling like you're being left out of something. And then to bring in, you want to bring in the 9 of Cups, which is all about success and having love and surrounding yourself with that feeling of love and success coming in. And then spirit, the advice from spirit is the 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords for me always represents taking what serves you and leaving behind what doesn't. This one, it just shows somebody kind of stealing something from a safe. So maybe also kind of beware of others around you, and if they are maybe trying to be deceitful. But I think the bigger message, and one that you have more control over, absolutely, is, you know, taking what serves you and leaving behind what doesn't. So, Marsha, if you want to pick the next person.
Next up, we have MC. If MC is still in the chat, let's see. Ceree, do you want to read for MC? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. MC, can you hear me? Oh, or she can put in the chat. All right. I cut the deck and I just laid out 3 cards, and I know that this just kind of flew out. This was at the bottom of the deck, the Queen of Swords. And so I think this is a beautiful card of discernment. And I think there's an opportunity underneath the cards that I've pulled around discernment of what's your truth. What to let go of is the 5 of Wands. And Wendy pulled a 5 card, which is interesting because 5s are reflective of change. I see this card, and these are from the Mermaid Tarot deck. And so if you look at this, MC, this may be conflict, drama, opinions of others around you, or people who want to create unnecessary conflict or drama just for the sake of doing it. So that is something that it would be wise just to stay away from. And I think that's a great message for all of us. There's a lot of drama out there. There's a lot of people who just want to fight and create conflict for the purpose of doing so. You don't need to own that. And that is not something that you need to pay any attention to whatsoever, MC. So I just wanted to say that's something to let go of, or just not to pay attention to. What you want to invite in is the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands is around being clear about your choices and your intentions. And if you haven't set intentions for what you want to release in this full moon, this is an excellent time between now and Sunday, MC, to set intentions about what you want to release. And I think Dawn gave us some great tips, especially with the father and the mother energy. That's really powerful about the way that we were loved or perhaps not loved growing up. What do we need to release so that we heal and be the best version of ourselves? So it's an opportunity to invite in your intentionality about what you want to manifest. And then Spirit's advice, love it, love it, love it. King of Wands, baby. So MC, the King of Wands is a very mature, passionate energy. And it's someone who goes after what they want. They're successful. They're a leader. And so this is about owning your awesomeness. And I love the King of Wands. So this is what Spirit has for you. And again, just a pleasure to read MC for you. And I'll hand it back to you, Marsha. Thanks.
Okay, next up is going to be Linda. Who would like to read for Linda? Anybody ready to go? Angie, I see you. John, you want to go?
Sure.
All right, Dawn.
Hi, Linda. All right. So what do we need? What does Linda need to let go of? Oh, I love it when cards volunteer. What an odd one to have to let go of. I think connecting to the higher self, I feel like this is blocking the energy of outside forces. I think holding on to what you truly are in and of yourself, that connection to the higher self, I feel like that is what the truest thing is here, because I think you need to let go of everything else that's out there. And this is very much about being in yourself, and being the High Priestess is about knowing but not speaking, right? Not getting involved in the other things that are out there and keeping, oh, that's okay. So sorry, downloaded message. Yes, you don't have to get involved in these arguments that are going on out there. She's just saying, know who you are yourself and let everything else go. So what is it that you need to invite in? What does Linda need to invite in? Ideas, higher connection with spirit. I think you're very, very spiritually connected already. And I think the message I'm really getting is that not interfering in the outside world, interfering in what's going on within you. That's the message that I'm getting very, very strong. And what is the advice from spirit? I would like a card to volunteer. What is the advice from spirit? We had a bunch. Take these. Starting with, live in the moment and be happy. Understand everything that's going on around you, but live in the moment of just having joy. And that's what really matters, because you can only change the moment that you are in right now. The other thing I noticed that it was like rest, recovery, heal. This is important for you, because I think you're very spiritual. I really get a strong feeling that you're an empath, and you need to like block some of that information out so that you can actually get some resting and healing. And then you're going to be ready to start something new. So I think that's the advice from your guides. I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you, Linda.
Awesome. That was a great one. Okay, next up, we're reading for Peggy. I see Peggy is still in the chat. Who wants to go next? Anybody want to volunteer to read for Peggy? Angie, I see you shuffling those cards. I'm going to go with Angie, and then Elizabeth, you're going to read next.
Hi, Peggy. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here and supporting us tonight. We appreciate you. Okay, great angels and guides, ancestors of the highest white light, known and unknown, who love Peggy and I very much, unconditionally. Please bring a message for Peggy about what she can let go of for her best and highest good. Thank you, Spirit. You need to breathe through something, girlfriend. I can feel that all anxiety up in your chest. It's getting stuck there. So definitely some heart chakra clearing here as I'm shuffling the cards. They're feeling very fast and furious a little bit. So maybe slow down just a little bit. This one. Okay, so what to let go of, your ideas concerning partnership as far as what that should look like. This is Four of Wands. This is the 1111 card. So you can see this is quite a different image than we're used to seeing. There is a, right next to her, there's this oceanic being. It's like a big, huge, what are the sting, well, the things that sting you? What do they call it? I'm losing my word. The jellyfish, but it's like a giant jellyfish. So something that has stung you in the past. It doesn't have to be romantic. It's any partnership of any kind, because the Four of Wands is action of both people as they see, I'm going to do these two wands and you're going to do those other two wands. And together that forms the four corners of a foundation so we can put up walls and put a roof on. So I feel like here is just letting go of maybe what our specific idea of partnership is, because it's not going to be the same every single time with different people, whether that's familial, friendships, or romantic partnerships, business relationships. Make sure that we are understanding exactly what the other person is willing to put in, so that maybe we're not doing three of the wands and letting them do one wand because we're worried that they might not do their two wands correctly. So we want to do their extra wand for them. So coming more into balance there. Definitely feeling that sting in that heart though. That's why I was feeling that when I was shuffling there. So sending some healing there to you if that's the case. All right. What have we got here? Invite in. So here, invite in hope. So Pandora's box here on the Page of Pentacles, invite in new knowledge. And again, that's connecting me to this message here, especially with the light being such a focus on these two cards. Remember that when Pandora's box is open, we have to make it through the pestilence and all the things that we don't want to deal with first, right? So we can get to that hope in the end, because there's always a gift. So whatever that sting was, remember that there's a gift in that. It's, what does this have to teach me, instead of why does this happen to me, right? What was this gift? What was the gift that I was to glean from this? And make sure that we realize there's always a gift there. Now, as far as advice from Spirit, I'm going to go to my animal deck. And Dog Spirit, I love this card. He's so cute. And it's be loyal to what you love. It is a 19 energy, and my eye is drawn right to the third eye. There's a crystal there, these beautiful crystal blue eyes. I don't know if that is you or someone that you may be thinking about here, but it is also a 19 card of the sun. So again, remembering the lessons, it's very similar to having pets, right? It's a contract with grief we sign. We know one day that we're going to lose them, but we're not going to not have them anyway, if that makes sense. You know, that's part of the deal. So the advice from Spirit is right back to these cards, even though those, some things sting and some lessons sting more than others, being loyal to what you love and understanding that comes with it, because love and pain are the same vibrational frequency. Right? The opposite of love and pain is neutrality and indifference. So make sure that you keep that love in your heart. 19 reduces to a 10, which is Wheel of Fortune. It can go either way. That doesn't mean you don't take the chance. And the one of the Magician is for the reduced to tell us that there's always wonderful potential in new beginnings. So I hope that resonated with you on the fly there. What a beautiful message. I can definitely feel your heart there.
That was a beautiful reading, Angie. Thank you so much. Oh, okay.
know.
Natisha, we are up. Who is going to read? I think Elizabeth is reading for Natisha. 3
Sure,
cards.
happy to. Do you know my dog walked over, Angie, when you pulled that card? Didn't you?
No way.
Yeah, come say hi, Pippa. Okay, Natasha, hi. How are you? Give me 1 second. Let me connect with you. 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Crystals here. Okay, a couple things are coming to me. I read rather intuitively. One thing I want to tell you is, Natasha, I hope I'm saying that right, that I believe you receive angelic communications. I believe you are rather psychic and intuitive, very intuitive. Now, this is the aardvark on this beautiful Spirit Song Tarot deck. This is about options, having many options and choices. So what you need to let go of are too many options. I feel like you're probably very overwhelmed, and I want you to trust your intuition and that angelic communication I believe you receive to narrow down the decision so you know the right path for you to take. And I'm going to tell everybody, hey, walk the 8, see the answers you get too. 9 of Wands. So also, this is more, 9s are about letting go of cycles, the end of a cycle. So this is a great time of this full moon for you to really narrow down your decisions and manifest a good spiritual path. All the opportunities that you're looking for. Also, I want you to understand there's power in this, and power in your perseverance through these times. And that is what you need to invite in, is your own personal power, understanding the endings. One door closes, another opens, but not 7. So you got to narrow it down. Okay. And then last, advice from Spirit. The highest intentions, please. And the whole bunch flew out. 3 of Acorns. Perfect. I want you to think outside of the box about your next steps moving forward. Be creative. Be very communicate is the word I'm looking for. Your intentions, your boundaries as you make these decisions. Because this is a time for you to lead much like an empress, with love and beauty, heart-centered decisions, but with boundaries and the foresight of this beautiful giraffe. I feel like you're somebody who really understands these endings and beginnings, and you can see the big picture of what's ahead. Just don't get stuck in too much confusion, and definitely trust your intuition and the intuitive guidance that I really feel you receive already. Okay. Is there anything I can clarify for you, Natasha?
I think it's Natisha. She's got a N-A-T.
I know. I'm so sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but she's trying to understand it all.
Yeah.
Well, and also, much like the Empress, I'm going to pull one more for her. it's about you being the leader in your own life, balancing the feminine and male leadership qualities in you as a king of shells. But I want you to lead with love. And a simple way to remember that too, you guys, is, I had to learn this the hard way recently. Behind people's words are the emotions. Pay less attention to the words. Get heart-centered and try to understand their emotions, and even your own. And you'll be able to make really clear decisions.
Yeah, it goes back to that intention behind the attention. It's
Exactly.
really,
Yeah, thank you, Marsha. Exactly. So I hope, how do you say it, Marsha? Natasha?
I'm pronouncing it Natisha.
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 Well, thank you
Okay.
for being here, and I do hope I clarified that for you.
Miss Brandy, we are reading for Brandy next. Brandy was in our live stream earlier this week. I know we read for her last week, but that's fantastic, right? So, Jen, do you feel like pulling some cards?
Yep, I've pulled some already for her.
Awesome.
All right. So for Brandy, we've got what you need to let go of. Pulled the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is about people pleasing. So I think that's part of what we had kind of talked about, some of the things that you were going through. I think this is about the time that you're going to be stepping into your power. And so the people pleasing is the thing that you're working on the most to let go of right now, because what you're bringing in is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is someone who is very confident about who she is. She knows what she wants. She goes after it. She gets it because she knows that she deserves it. She doesn't settle for anything less than what she knows that she deserves. And the advice from Spirit is that you need to find more joy in your life with the Page of Wands. That is about having more fun, having more of that childlike spirit, so like you're doing things just for the fun of it. You're not doing it because there's any kind of like responsibility, attached to it. I think that that's one of the things with you, is you've probably had to be too responsible for too long. And so now then it's time for you to have a little bit more freedom and have a little bit more fun in your life. All right. Back to Marsha, who is next.
Oh.
Marsha, you're muted.
I muted myself. I was not muted, and then I muted myself. Anyway, it gets a little hairy in these lives. Okay, so next up is Phoenix Flight. And I feel like I'm going to go around the room once again and start with Wendy. Wendy, will you read some cards for Phoenix Flight?
Sure. Let me pull the new deck, so let's see how this one goes. So for Phoenix Flight, let's see what wants to come through. Let's see where he wants to let go, invite in, and get advice from Spirit. Okay, so for letting go, what came up was the Page of Coins. Okay, so I would say try not to get too worried about what's coming in with your work in abundance. Okay, because this is like a message coming through for your work and abundance and stability. So I would say if you're worried about those things, maybe try to release and let go of that anxiety or those worries a little bit, because you're inviting in the Nine of Coins. So you're going to have a lot of opportunities and things coming in, and you're going to be really busy and doing a lot of work and creating a lot of good things for yourself. Okay, so you're going to be creating that stability, and you're already doing the work to bring in those things. So you really don't need to be worrying about what other people are saying about it, or, the other messages that are coming through for it, because you're doing the work and you're getting it done. So message from Spirit is the Three of Swords. And I really like it in this deck because normally in a lot of other decks, the Three of Swords has the heart with the three swords through it. And swords are thoughts, but and a lot of times in other decks, it represents like heartache and things like that. But in this deck, you see how they're all like communicating and talking to each other. So I think, and they're under the light of the sun, you know? So I think they're saying like, communicate your thoughts, you know, share with others. It's creating community, okay? And shining your light in that community. So I think that the advice from Spirit is to go ahead and shine your light and share with others your knowledge. Okay. So I hope that helps for you.
I was going to say, go hop in a moon circle, hop on
Right.
Sunday night. I love it. Okay. Up next, we have, is it Larissa, Larissa, Larissa. And let's see who went next. I can't remember the order. Ceree, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Hi, Larissa. How are you? I just flipped out some cards, and the first thing that came out, there's heart energy coming out from you, and I'm just feeling your heart. And what you are letting go of, here's an opportunity, the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups oftentimes is around, it can be too many choices in love, or it can be confusion about a relationship. So I'm feeling that you are conflicted about a relationship that you're in, and you've got confusion over potentially, do I stay, do I go? And you're confused about the path ahead. And so I think the opportunity to say is, how do I get clear on what it is that I want to manifest in my relationships? What's important to me, and what can I do to, I guess, become unblocked or get more clarity about this relationship? Now, what's interesting, what Spirit, what I'm getting also, what the opportunity to invite in is communication. So there may be a situation that you're in a relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, but there's been some confusion or potentially some conflict, maybe where you pulled away from one another, or there's something that's remained unsaid that's led to some confusion. So there is an opportunity for you to invite in the opportunity to communicate, to be honest with how you feel. And I think even if it's a tough conversation, coming from the heart and being authentic to who you are and expressing how you feel is the key here. But being transparent and open with your communication hopefully can help you work through whatever the confusion is in this relationship. And the advice from Spirit, I just pulled the Five of Cups. And oftentimes this is a card that can indicate regret. But as you look in the traditional tarot, there are 5 cups, 3 of which the person is looking at that have fallen over, and 2 of which are standing upright, and the person's not looking at them. And it's a very similar depiction of this woman. This is the Light Seer's Tarot. This is about not having regrets. And I think if you look at this relationship and it's important to you, and you want to maintain this relationship close to you, into your heart, do whatever you need to do to clear the air, to communicate, and don't have any regrets, because you don't want to look back in the future and look back on this and say, I didn't communicate, or I just let it go away because I was afraid to talk about my feelings. And so there's an opportunity that Spirit is giving here to say, live your life and live your relationships through the lens of joy, and don't have any regrets no matter what's happened. If that means walking away, that is something that you need to do. But if it's something where you can clear the air to clear up the confusion, I think there's an opportunity in this relationship for working through it and coming out the other side very healthy and happy. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be, but we're in relationships of all types, whether it be with our siblings, whether it be with our children, whether it be with friends. And the world is kind of a crazy place right now. So what's interesting is that there may be conflicts for many of us that ordinarily we would not have seen, but people are being impacted by the energies around them and some of this crazy chaos of the world. So hopefully this will resonate for you. Cut through the confusion, identify it, talk about it, be honest, and speak through the lens of the heart, and you won't have regrets moving forward. So that's the feedback for Larissa. Thank you.
That is awesome. Thank you, Ceree. Okay, next up, we are reading for Donna. Who's going to read for Donna? All right, Dawn and Donna, go for it.
You do not know how many times I've been called Donna in my life. So we have energy already. Okay, what does Donna need to let go of? I changed deck so I would get some fresh energy in here. Let's see. Oops, 2 came out. All right, let's see what they are. King of Cups. 3 of Wands. I think you feel, let me show you what these cards look like up front here. There. King of Cups, 3 of Wands. The energy of, I feel like this is you having to do everything yourself. I think you need to give that up. I feel like you've got this strong push and desire, and you just like, okay, time to get it taken care of. But I feel like you're having to do everything yourself. So let's see. I think what you need to invite in. What do your angels and guides want you to invite in? For Donna, what do your angels and guides want you to invite in? I just keep getting this thing. I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. Okay. All right. Invite in 8 of Swords. An odd thing to invite in. I think to know though that what is out there is not. I don't think there's anything for you to be afraid of. That's what I feel like. And invite in things, because the 8 of Swords is a lot of times things that are just blocking you from in your own mind of what's going on. So I think to invite in the energy and not be afraid. I think it's kind of related to a fear thing here, where you're stopping yourself and you need to invite things in, be more open. And let's see, Spirit, let's have some cards come out for Donna. I want some cards to volunteer for Donna. Okay, well, that's funny. Things are going to be just fine because you have the Sun and the 9 of Cups, right? So stepping out, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Stepping out, that energy. So I like this. I like this. Getting out there, and you have the Sun and you have the 9 of Coins. So that's someone that's successful, a business person, getting out there and maybe even starting something brand new. But I think whatever you're going to be doing is going to be very successful, because I feel like you're moving ahead and not letting thoughts stop you. So hopefully that will help you. But I think whatever is coming down the road for you is very nice, very beneficial and energetically pushing you forward.
Awesome. Okay, we have time for just one more. And actually, I probably went over time a little bit. It gets really, it moves fast in that chat. So I want to apologize. If anybody has to drop off from our group, just know that the rest of us are sticking around. Don't anybody be alarmed. Last one up for tonight is going to be Melanie. Who's going to read for Melanie? Anybody? Angie, go for it. And Angie, you're on mute. You're muted, Angie.
Thank you. I'm blind over here. Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for being here, for the support. So so I don't forget, Dawn, what was that deck? That was such a cool deck. So as for whatever that's worth for Dawn, when you were I'm those cards that the double helix that Liz was showing earlier, that's what I saw in that staircase on Dawn's deck. And then I noticed the other one had a dragon, which was one of the charms I got today on the card of I listen with love to my body's messages. So, Melanie, that may be also for you because I was shuffling and just intending whoever is getting these cards is coming up, and there was a lot of past life energy here so far. Okay. Three angels and guides, the ancestors of the highest white light who love us unconditionally, known and unknown. Please connect Melanie and I's energy so that we can bring her messages for her best and highest good today. Okay, so Three of Pentacles and Knight of Wands here, some kind of start to an exciting partnership that is very fiery. So Three of Pentacles is about aligning body, mind, and spirit within self. It's also if you're working within a team, that all the teammates are acting with the same energy to start whatever new this is. And whatever it is, if it's not here already, it is coming very fast. If that is a person, that would be mutable fire, which is Sagittarius energy. Okay. So what we're letting go of is that if we keep having to begin again, right? Or maybe, we're needing to let go of if there needs to be a counselor or an architect to make the plans. There is a third energy that would be very beneficial to whatever this is. And what do we need to invite in is passion. So, as we were talking earlier, let your heart come into whatever this is. I was seeing as I was shuffling, I'm like, who is going to be up next? Because I had the Lovers, I had the Two of Swords, like willful blindness, having to decide between your own happiness or saving someone else. And then with the bottom, I had the Scarab Beetle, which is more past life soulmate energy. It does definitely feel very fiery, but there's a third person of some sort that can help you solve this in a new way and see something in a new way. Okay, advice from Spirit for Melanie. There's definitely a lot, it felt like a lot of up and down energy, back and forth. The passion though, wow. They might have some magic hands. They might be very good with their hands. Might be how you know them. Okay, advice from Spirit. That's a little saucy there, Melanie. I can feel the sauce. All right, one card for Melanie, please. Spirit, advice from Spirit. Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of that deck as I'm shuffling here. With that, letting go and inviting in, there's a key. Yeah, I knew there's a key person or a key factor that will be able to really help. It's the only card in the whole entire deck that has a key to it. All right, we're going to do three more. Indecision. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Eagle Spirit 23, the 5 of change, which today is the path of change. And a second one came out with that. I was looking at Dawn's card too. There's a connection between these two messages because that last card, it kind of looked like a frog to me, even though it wasn't. And here's Frog Spirit of clear out the clutter, which is what we were talking about with as one of the full moon rituals. It's a 28, which is a 10. And then Spirit has your back. That would be the third entity that is going to be helping you with this. So it's a 23, which is a 5. So now we have 3 5s. That is the energy of the devil, with the sister card being back to the beginning, the Lovers. So a choice is impending here. Know that Spirit has your back, definitely going within. And in addition to that, this frog is holding a crystal ball. So you already know the answer here, Chickie. You already got this. There's a key there. You know where the lock is. You just got to go unlock it. I hope that helps you. Dolphin Spirit there, number 20, a judgment call. Yeah. Judgment calls gotta be made here. This and that are true.
Wow, that's amazing. What a reading. Okay, we will have to cut off the readings there, but we will be back Monday live again. Is it 10 a.m. Eastern? Is that right?
Correct.
Yep, we'll be back here. We'll be pulling cards that day as well. I will not be there, but many of us will. Okay, so who's going to wrap up for us tonight?
I want to talk
Right.
to something that's happening in the chat. So we are streaming to multiple channels right now. And
Yes.
so I'm not sure whose channel you're on when you're saying that there's only 2 people in the chat. So you may not be seeing everything that's going on. So the main chat is going to be on the Spiritual View page. And then we had it streaming on all of our personal channels too.
Right, and I'm taking names off that main feed from the Spiritual View channel. So the comments that come up in that one, those are the names that I'm taking. So hopefully that wasn't confusing for anybody. But
It
come
was
back
something
on
new we
Monday.
tried. So we weren't
Yeah.
exactly sure how that was going to work out. So,
We're figuring it out.
Wendy,
Okay.
did you want to close this out?
Yeah, sure. So I just want to remind everybody to comment, like, subscribe, and share so that you can be entered in for a free reading from one of us. We will announce the winner for the free reading in our next Friday live, which will be at its usual time at 5 p.m. Eastern next Friday. We're so glad that everybody got to come in and join us, and then we got to read for everyone. I noticed there were a lot of 5s in the reading, so a lot of change happening for everybody. But we just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you, and we will see you all very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.